Well, welcome to the very first Chairman's View, and of course, really happy to say that, of course, you can see to my left, he's the one and only, the man himself, Mr. Chris Ottaway, and I suppose, Chris, how's lockdown been treating you? I suppose is the first thing.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Hawks. Yeah, it's been a strange experience. We'll never have it again. I hope not. From a football angle, it couldn't have come at a worse time, really. You know, try to get my feet under the table, and then all bets are off. So it's given me a chance to do a bit of background work and look at things. We've had quite a few meetings at the club. Not the same. You know, it's the buzz. Everyone wants the buzz back. We're trying to get it back now with football on TV, but you know, without the crowd, it's just not the same, is it? But it's been I've improved my do-it-yourself skills. Lou's certainly improved her gardening skills, so we've got a few extra strings to our bow as such. But yeah, it's been a funny time, hasn't it? Really, I mean, trying to keep the business afloat. It's been hard. I've had a few sleepless nights, like everyone that's got businesses at the minute, especially in the construction industry. But yeah, we're getting on. I mean, at the end of the day, Lou said to me many a time, you know, you can't worry about something that you can't influence. So you just got to get on with it, which is what I've been doing, really. But yeah, I'll be glad to get back to normal. I'll be glad to see some football at Harlow as well.
Absolutely. Listen, I mean, apologise to some people who might say there is a bit of a delay in voice to picture, so I do apologise for that. But Wi-Fi at my end and Chris's end not great tonight because I think it's the weather, but we'll persevere as we go on. But Chris, I suppose let's get rid of the first question. Of course, everybody's going to be asking the same sort of question.
Yeah.
Where are we as a club management wise?
Right, that is in hand. I know an announcement will be made soon, but at the moment I can't give a definitive information on that to the fans. It's being dealt with, and we will be addressing it and coming back to that one. My hands are tied on that, I'm afraid, but that's the situation at the minute. Although saying that, I must say from the meetings I've had, I feel comfortable. I'm not panicking. I believe a decision will be made in a timely way. It'll be the right decision, but at the moment, it's something I can't really comment on.
Okay, so I mean, you know, I suppose one good bit of news is the ladies in the reserves. They're back training. I see.
Yeah, that's good.
Media. So we got the club, you know, starting to sort of come back, and the kids are back as well. And I see that's a good thing to get the club moving again on the football front.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see some activity. I was over the club on Friday. It was great just walking around. Really, you start to realise that probably, you know, it's not September. People are quoting September. You know, with the chairman's hat on, we'll go with September. With Chris Ottaway's hat on, I'm still expecting a few twists and turns in the COVID tail, to be honest. But we'll obviously be ready for September. But yeah, it's good. It's good to start to see things moving again, which is really important. I mean, you know, sort of like the fans, supporters chat site and things. You know, everyone's really getting, you know, fired up now for the new season, and Twitter's started to get active. A lot of clubs are already put their name to the league title, so it's interesting, you know. But we'll do our business in private, and we'll be ready when we have to be ready. Be interested to see what happens. You know, I've seen that talk about Romford as well, with the situation there. You know, there could be, there's all sorts of permutations and things that could come out, but I'm not worried. I'm not worried about what the others do. I'm more worried about what we do.
Absolutely. So I see that, you know, so it's one of the other big bits of news that's come out. I know you've got one bit of big news you want to share with us all a bit later, and you want to sort of expand a little bit more on news that was broken a couple of days ago, which was, of course, the sponsorship package. I mean, it looks a good package.
Yeah, I wanted to sort of like drill right down to the start again, really, in some ways. You know, it's the old saying, you don't build a house until you build the foundations. But I was keen to try to link the commercial support to the club with our fans, because, you know, I'm more of a fans man than anything. You know, I mean, you know, I relate to Harlow from my days at Ashford Town, as I've said before. So what I wanted to do was, first of all, try and put in place a sponsorship package which was affordable to all sorts of businesses, you know, especially coming out of COVID-19 as well, which obviously puts greater emphasis on value for money. And what I do away with, I mean, we use the word sponsorship, but it's more of a partnership. So, for example, you know, we'll try. I want sponsors and partners to look back at the end of the season and ask themselves, did we get value from that season? Did we get a bit out of it? So, I've tried to develop. I mean, a few of the standards packages are there as they've always been. I'm bringing Harry the Hawk back. He'll be on the touchline for every home game, and Harriet the Hawk will be on the touchline for every ladies' game. So we'll have a bit of fun there, a bit of banter, try and sort of liven things up a bit on that front. And there's a sponsorship package for the Hawks. But that sort of run in parallel with the supporters is that I want the supporters to benefit from any sponsorship that we get into the club. So again, what I've created now, I don't believe at the moment that's gone out. It should be going out on, well, probably when this goes out, it will have gone out. We're doing a crowdfunding thing. And I've developed a thing called the Hawks Club. Now, the Hawks Club is a club within a club as such. It's the season ticket package, but a lot more on top. And just flicking through the benefits of being a Hawks Club member. Obviously, the membership card, you get a pin badge. You get 10% off the bar spend at the club. You get 5 food vouchers per season that you can use together or individually. You get 5 drink vouchers per season. Again, you can use all at once or use them through the season. We're going to have a few special events throughout the year, certainly 2 chairman nights with the manager. And the other interesting thing, and this is what I've been working on, when I talk to sponsors, I want the sponsors to give the Hawks Club something back as well, not just the football club. So, for example, and I've done my first deal, and it happened on Friday afternoon, funnily enough, with Harry, who was the ex-goalkeeping coach. He's opening a Turkish Mediterranean restaurant at the Checkers in Old Harlow. And I've spoken to him, and he's agreed that anyone who's in the Hawks Club that dines at his restaurant once they're members will get a 15% discount on the food bill. So what I'm trying to do is, as we build up the support commercially, the Hawks Club members will start to benefit as well. I can get a travel agent on board. I can get anything that's looking after customer services, and hopefully they'll benefit. And I want to try and reconnect. I want everyone to feel one big family. So just to give you an idea on, if we go to the Hawks Club first, I was just looking, I think there's 19 home league games. It's £10 to get in. So there's £190 worth of football. When we sell it individually, commercially, it'll be £175 a season. But with the crowdfunder that's going out, that should be out on Monday, it'll be £150. So for £1, for 150 quid, you get your season ticket for the all league games, 10% your badge, 5 food vouchers, 5 drink vouchers, special events, and there'll be at least 2 chairman nights. And I want to do other things as well. I don't see why we can't have a racing night and things, you know, have a golf day, things that appeal to everyone. It will be for the fans to tell me what they want to do. But I want to build up the Hawks Club. I want to get that that feeling back. I've listened a lot over the last few interviews you've had with ex-fans, and I've read a lot, and I've done an awful lot of thinking, and the club needs to reconnect with the supporters. That's my job. And it isn't going to be an overnight success. I realise that. And whatever I do, someone will say it's the wrong decision, and I know that as well. But over time, I think we can reconnect. We can have a bit of fun, but at the same time, the more commercial support we get in, the more successful we'll be as a football club. I mean, I've established in my head the budgets that are needed to win the league and to finish mid-table. In my mind, I know roughly what needs to be coming into the club. Now it's a matter of getting that in. So I feel confident. Well, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't. But so that's the thing regarding the supporters and the Hawks Club. Going back to the commercial packages, I've also created another little club there called Club 79. And that's to commemorate the titles, to commemorate the glorious 79-80 season, when I wasn't around. But I mean, Leicester got knocked out of the cup in January, and I think we were in the Premiership promoted a few months earlier. So it was quite a historic time. And we've created a thing called Club 79, which is a club it's almost like a sponsors club for people who sponsor us. And they'll again get a membership card. We'll have breakfast meetings. They'll have VIP season tickets. They can come into the lounge and have a pork pie with me if they so wish, and a drink. And there'll be discounts on services to the club. So we'll have effectively the sponsors getting together, because that's how they're going to do business, networking with each other. But my only concern about, I mean, it's something I do a lot of, but my only concern was that that's all well and good, but I want to look after the fans as well. So I was trying to work out, how can the fans get some benefit out of this? So I can talk to people, the Indian restaurant, and say, okay, we'd love to do business with you. We'll promote you, but I want my Hawks clubs to have 15% off on a Saturday night if they come into your restaurant to eat. That's part of the deal. So we start to get a bit of unity together. So all of this is obviously going out now. So it's out there in the open. We're talking. I've had a few meetings with potentially big sponsors. We have a few exciting opportunities that I consider to be exciting anyway, which we're at halfway through. We've had a few meetings with big companies. There's a good opportunity of some input from them. At the same time, I'm looking at, trying to trawl right across Harlow, relatives of the junior teams, etc., just to try and get everybody on board. I'm still committed to success, and I think there's enough businesses around for us to be able to achieve that. But so that's really the exciting. For me, it's exciting because I can now see that we're off and running now. We can if we can get commercial sponsors in, we can get some people to sign up to the Hawks Club. What I want to do, obviously, I want a social event before the season starts with the fans. So we can, you can't beat a chat over a drink about what we're trying to achieve, etc. I want to take on board everyone's comments. I am aware of historical issues. And I want to try and, as I say, I want people to want to come back. There's a few people that have left that I've listened to on your interviews. And there's been some really good, interesting nights chewing it over in my head. And I want to hopefully build that bridge and get everyone back and get the family feeling back again.
So, if you get to that situation, Chris, speaking to the people that have left, would you like have a meeting with them? Have left, why they've left?
Well, we could do that. We could do it several ways. It's no different than when someone leaves a company. You have an exit interview to find out why they're leaving. Could be that they've got a better job, but it could be they're not happy with how they've been treated or one thing or another. I don't want to know all of it. I'll take it all on the chin. Don't worry. I'm not saying I'll resolve every issue. I'm not a Superman, but I'll listen. And if I can put things in place to encourage people to come back, I'll certainly be doing that. There's lots of measurements that I'm going to be marking myself out of 10 on various issues. One of them is obviously the main things on the pitch. We want to get promotion. I personally, I still find it amazing that a club our size, Harlow size, hasn't got a team in at least a national self. I'm not going to get carried away here, but I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be targeting that form of success. But I just think, I don't know. I think about what everyone's been saying, and I just think that if we can all pull together, we can actually achieve success. We'll see. But so I'm going to mark myself out of 10 on the football side because obviously we need success. Success will come with the right budget. It will come with us getting the right players. I know that. So I obviously got to work really hard on the commercial side of the club to get in funds. I'm aware of that too. But at the same time, my success will be on the attendances. How many do we get there? If I can double the attendance, if we can get 400 or 500, the place will be a lot more exciting than 150. We know that. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that would happen in year one, but I would expect and hope to start seeing an increase in the attendances. Now, if that wasn't the case, then there's big questions have got to be asked, whether I'm doing it right or whether there's a bigger problem that no one had thought of. But I'm really concerned about people that have left and don't want to come back or they're unhappy. We've got to try. We've got people to say, yeah, we've done all this before. I know I'm going to get that. But the thing is, it's a matter of, let's do it again. Let's give it another attack. So it's a challenge. There's no two ways about that. But I knew that when I came on anyway. So, I just think a football club in a town the size of Harlow should be, 500 at home game isn't that much to ask, surely. They turn up when it's a playoff final, don't they? and sing "We'll support you evermore," and then they never come back again. So, we've got to work on that. We've got to work on that, and that's not a 5-minute job. But it will communication, having fun nights as well. It's not all about pounds, shillings, and pence and points on the league table. It is about what a few of the fans have said: having a nice time and having an enjoyable time. And if I can add a bit of value to that feeling, I will do. Hopefully, we can start to get a bit of success. I'm also aware that the club's been quiet. We sent out a couple of COVID stuff, but information. I'm not gonna sort of have an interview about what's going on if nothing's going on. There was a lot of things that we've been working on that now slowly will start trickling out. A couple of weeks we'll do another interview, Dave, and there'll be other stuff to launch. I mean, I've already got one thing up my sleeve. I was going to mention it now, but I'm going to hold that back because I think there's a bit more to sort of like stick some meat on the bone on that issue. But there'll be hopefully some more stuff coming out. It should be exciting. It certainly kept me off the streets thinking about it all. But I do listen, and I put myself in people's places and imagine how they would feel and how I would want to feel if I was supporting a football club. So all as I say, if anyone's got anything to say, contact me directly. If they're not happy with anything or if they think I've missed the trick, tell me about it. But as I say, at the moment, we've got the Hawks Club out now. Hopefully fans will see that as a way of the club giving something back to loyal supporters. Because, I mean, if for 150 quid, we only got to cost it up. I've costed it up in my head, and that's not a bad little package, really. I think it shows goodwill, and it shows goodwill in a moment of financial uncertainty for everybody. So I think, and if we can get people to sign up to that at the 150 price on the crowdfunder, okay, you're saving £25 a season, but it's good to get money up front for the club too. So everyone's a winner, really. But even later on, once the crowdfunder closes, if it goes to 175, that's still a good deal. And hopefully the special events will start to increase throughout the season. As I say, there'll be a minimum. We must have chairman manager nights. I must sit down. We've got to have open forums, a discussion. We're all in this together. And fans pay their money and they want their say, and I'll listen to it. And if I can take on board any improvements, I will do. I'm not saying I will every time. It could be a matter of opinion, but where I can, I will. And if I don't or I can't, I'll explain why.
Do you think, Chris, that the excitement from your chat tonight, and then, of course, also as well, maybe in next week, the week after, or whatever it's going to be, announcement around sort of in a management situation, player situation, all of a sudden the buzz will then start to sort of really sort of hit, and you'll start to see the excitement build?
I think so. At the minute, everyone's a bit remote. Everyone's at home wondering, it needs to get back there. We need to, I think, hopefully people will realise that, because no one really knows, what's been going on at the club. We've had loads of meetings. I've had quite a few meetings, certainly a lot of Zoom meetings. Been over there about 3 or 4 times as well. So we have been busy, and the other guys have been busy. Tim's been flat out. He's been doing all sorts. So it's quite. And Willow he's always got plenty to get on with. So it's not as though we've been sitting there waiting for COVID-19 to finish. There's a lot been going on, but we've had a lot of discussions, and everything that we talk about needs to be discussed and ideas bounced off each other. So it does take time, but I'd like to think that what we've got now is a pretty good package and product to offer potential sponsors to the club and fans regarding the Hawks Club. I think people will see, and if they can see the link that I can try and produce between sponsors and fans in the Hawks Club, and they'll get a benefit too. I mean, it's not a bad deal, really. I don't think. If you can save, for example, if you can save 10% off your holiday if you book up through a travel agent that's sponsoring the club, buy a second-hand car from someone that might be sponsoring a club that's offered 5% on a cash price because you're a Hawks Club member, people will start to see that the club is trying to look after their fans. It's a start, yeah. But the most important thing is how they're received at the club, the feel-good factor. It's the old cliche, we're all in this together. Well, we are all in this together, really. I mean, the players rely on the fans to get behind them. We're seeing this in Premier League football. Home advantage is just gone. You could be playing anywhere. There's no one there. I mean, the fans on the Chapman stand, the other side where I sit. I mean, when they're in full force, I mean that's a third match. That's an extra player. Get that old siren going again. It's great, you know. So it's important that the fans are so important, but it is a football club and it's a community club. And hopefully, as I say, early days. I can't get away with that for much longer. I've been chairman for a few months. COVID has been a nuisance. I know that. Very frustrating. My last game was Bracknell away, and I had to hide all the knives when I got in. But hopefully we can start building something up now. So it's a lot of work. It's a big challenge, but there's plenty of indicators for me to measure myself against. Performance on the pitch will obviously be cross-related to budget, depending upon players we can get in. The relationship with the fans will be measured against attendances, and measured against how well social events are supported by the fans, feedback from the fans. You know, I mean, I don't mind how feedback comes back to me. We can have a suggestion box if they want, as long as I find out. If someone's not happy, they need to tell me about it. So there'll be plenty of measurables in the next few months for me to work out if I'm on the right track, or if I need to sort of like do a quick U-turn and reevaluate. But we're making a start. We're giving it a go, which is good.
So are we back? After July the 4th, are we back with doing the all the events and at the club? I mean, or when is it planned to sort of start doing all the events and so forth?
Well, at the moment, I think we need first of all to get clear on social gathering.
Yeah.
At the moment, you know about as much about that as I do. Really, you probably know more in the field you're working in, but I'd like to think that once we've got a definitive season start date, we can work out pre-season friendlies if we can get some. All this is going to be up in the air at the minute because of dates and the clubs that we were talking to. That all needs to be revisited, and that's why I can't make an announcement on anything like that. But what I can make an announcement on is we'll have a chairman's night before the season starts. We all rock up there and sit around and have a chat. I'll have a microphone if they so wish, and we can have questions and answers and talk about what we're hoping to achieve. By then, there'll be a lot more news out in the field from the club, so there'll be a lot more questions to ask. So yeah, I'd like to get one in before the season starts, just to whet everyone's appetite really for the season ahead.
And we can
but at the moment, we don't know. I mean, this is the problem. On your Monday night show, if you remember, only a few months ago, we were talking about the feasibility of a January start in the league. And then it went back to December, then October. Now all of a sudden it's September. But, we don't know. I mean, I've just been reading in the Telegraph that there might be a local lockdown in Leicester this week because of the local spiking. And when you look around some of the behaviour of the public at the moment with all the social gathering, I'd be surprised if there was a more sort of, I suppose, local spike. So there's a lot that could happen in the next few weeks. But as I say, once we know we can have social gathering, we'll do our best to put on a pre-season get-together. And I'll work on that, and depending upon when the season starts. But it will happen. It will happen. And then once the season has started, as I said, as a minimum, I'd like to have a couple of Hawks nights with me and the manager for questions and answers, and just generally having a good time and socialising. Saturdays are a bad time. The managers are always stressed, and the players are stressed through play, and then they come off when they're stressed because they played. Everyone's a bit edgy. So it'd be nice to have a neutral sort of get together and have a catch up. It'd be nice to see everyone's well and the families are well. We got through this crisis. Now let's look forward to the season. So that'll be good.
And we can record that live, on.
Yeah.
But are the club sort of looking to the future a little bit as well, where the 3G surface? And I know some people have asked me that. The 3G surface has been down for some time now. Is there a sort of like a how can we put it, sort of an account or bank account or whatever else where money's being put into to maybe replace the carpet, or would we go back to grass, or what would we do?
No, it's something which is on there to actually read. It is an agenda item. It hasn't been fully visited. There's a lot of things for the future that need to be fully visited, but at the moment we're focusing on what I've just been talking to you about. Obviously, getting in the players and getting ready for next year with the right management team in place. But then we'll grow from there. We can start revisiting other areas and starting to build on it. But at the moment, that's basically what we've looked at. I mean, we've got a gym being built. I don't know how public knowledge that is, but that's exciting. But that's something I'll talk about for the public and for the fans. I mean, Saturdays could be quite a good day out. You go to the gym in the morning, a bit of lunch, and then watch a match. You know, you get there early, you can help the Buddha with the flags. You know, so it could be. It could be. I could definitely. I have a vision now. That vision, you know, it's my vision at the minute. But I find if we can just get everything where I want it, I think we've got a cracking chart. We've got a great team. I'm only the figure, I don't know really. And I've got my own little projects, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes. You know, I mean, Tim works flat out. I mean, he really does. Willow's flat out. You know, he really does do an awful lot. You know, he chases people for sponsorship and one thing and another. And there's a lot of teamwork at the club too. We got a nice little forum, the three of us, me, Tim, and Willow. You know, we sort of we get on well. We discuss things. We have a leg pull now and again. But you know, there's a lot that we've talked about, which at the moment is talk. But you know, now we can hopefully start to see the fruition of our chats by things coming out of the club. But at the moment, first kick is the sponsorship package. Second one is the Hawks Club. Then hopefully after that we can start talking about other things that I know the fans are desperate to hear about. You know, I'm still a member of the fans Facebook forum, and I read everything and I absorb everything too, and I take it all on board. So you know, it's not falling on deaf ears. But I said to you from the start, Dave, I won't report anything that I can't give a definitive answer on just for the sake of talking. That's not my style. So you know, when I have something to say, I'll say it. If I can't comment, obviously I won't.
Oh, absolutely. Well, listen, Chris, it's really been a good chat, and I think there's a lot.
Yeah, it's the first, hopefully the first of many.
Absolutely.
Operational chats, which will be good.
Yeah, and I think you know there's a lot there for the fans to dig into. You know, great couple of packages there, and all the rest. I suppose the one thing I looked at one last question for you is that. When I looked at it, and it might be me, I only literally just sort of like went over it very quickly. But was there not a package in the actual sponsorship package for the actual stadium rights, or did I miss it?
No, that's correct. Stadium rights are available. In fact, I'll just get something I produced earlier. But if you look at, I mean, you can name anything. You can stick your name on my back if you want. I mean, I don't care as long as we get some money in. I mean, if we look at venue sponsorship, you can sponsor the arena. You can sponsor the main stand, the sponsors lounge can be sponsored, and the sports lounge downstairs can be sponsored as well. So and that's good. I mean, when you think about the traffic we get in those areas, because we're using the arena all the time, that's a lot of traffic commercially. So yeah, I mean, we've pretty well covered most things. Individual player sponsorship is coming out for the web. Put your name on the website as well. What I was keen on is trying to make it affordable to all businesses. You know, we all want Rockefeller to come in and sponsor us for, you know, £500,000, but we ain't going to get him because he's not around. So what we've got to do is we've got to look at businesses, and at the same time, and if I said this once to everybody, I'll say it 100 times. We're just coming out of COVID-19. This is not the time to be trying to get loads of money in from companies that have just made 20 people redundant. It's difficult. So we've got to offer them not just the sponsorship, but the partnership. They've got to be seeing that they're going to get something back. That's very important. And we've got to look at all businesses, you know, a small business. So, for example, something quite simple for a small business in the package is match ball sponsorship for 150 quid. And that's you get your photo, you present the ball to the players on the centre circle, you get something to eat, you get a few drinks, get time spent with me, which is probably not a good thing. But all in all, it's a nice deal for a local business that wants to just perhaps take a client out. And what a great place to go. I mean, there's some great people at Harlow. It's a great friendly club anyway. And I'm sure they'll I've sponsored many a time in the past with Lou when before we got actively involved with the club. And we sponsored the York City game. That was an absolute cracking day out. That was. I think I got home Sunday on that. But it's worth doing. But at the same time, what I want to try and do is to try and target all businesses. It's not I'm very interested in the smaller packages. So we've got match day sponsorship, match ball sponsorships. But of course, you know, if you're a larger company, then you're going to want more back. And so I go back to the traffic at the arena. lots of traffic, people in and out of there all day long. You know, you've got Tottenham involved with us as well, as we well know. There's going to be other clubs probably using the pitch, the ground share. So obviously there's a lot of throughfare, a lot of people to be seen. It's a premium. So yeah, I mean the stadium naming right is up for grabs without a doubt. And funny enough, we are talking to a couple of companies about this at the minute. It's just picking the right time, making sure that they can see a return on their investment. I think that's the difference between football sponsorship now than how it was. In the old days, when money was good and business was good, you know, you'd throw 2,000 or 3,000 at a football club and say, just get on and enjoy it, you know. I think now people are starting to look and think, well, hold on, what are we going to get back for that? Are we going to get a product back from the football club? So if we can look after them, promote their business, they'll probably cost it. And some of these packages, they'll probably think, you know what, we actually got business out of that. It makes money sponsoring Harlow Town. And that's what I'm hoping anyway. But that will take time.
No.
That will take time.
No,
I want to get an Indian restaurant sponsoring because I do like a curry at full time. So we haven't got one of those. I mean, we got Harry. We call him Harry the Hawk, but Harry down at the Checkers, and he was straight in with a deal. You know, I've got to thrash out the smaller print, but he said to me on Friday, and I asked him if I could have his permission to announce that, so that people can sort of like see my ethos on this link between fans and sponsors. And he said 15% for Hawks Club members if they dine at my restaurant. What a start that is, you know. When on a 50 quid bill, that's £7.50. Do your sums, Dave, you know, £150 a ticket. You had a few trips to Harry's and you made your money. You know, it's surprising. So that's what I'm trying to do. I want to make it affordable. I want the fans to see that we are trying to work together and give something back. But we'll see. We'll see.
Well, listen, Chris, for joining us tonight, and hopefully more news to follow coming week. But I'll say massive thank you to you and for all the efforts that you're putting into the club at the present minute time. And he's glad to start seeing your effect on the club from what you've said tonight. And hopefully we'll get to speak again very soon. But until then, Chris, thanks, mate. Good night.
Thanks, Dave. Speak soon. Cheers.